Well, the verdict's in, ladies and gentlemen, on the Kyle Rittenhouse verdict on the trial. It just finally came down to deliberation and the testimony, especially when Kyle Rittenhouse was crying on the stand. Here we are. It is now over, and Kyle Rittenhouse is found not guilty on all charges. I'm not getting this from Dr. Rochelle Ritchie's channel. Rittenhouse verdict found not guilty in all counts. And I have a little bonus, a little photo for you at the end of this video. Let's get to it.
We just got a front row seat into the reality of the two-justice system in the United States of America. Kyle Rittenhouse has been found not guilty of all charges. Jurors in Kenosha, Wisconsin, on Friday declared Kyle Rittenhouse not guilty on all counts, capping off an intense trial surrounding the deadly unrest in that city last year. Rittenhouse, 18 years of age, would have faced a mandatory life sentence if found guilty and convicted of first-degree intentional homicide.
He would have faced 5 to 10 years. He was found guilty on one of the charges. He was facing, I believe,
this was the 15th day of the trial.
He was facing 5 counts of felonies.
The defendant will rise, face the jury, and hearken to its verdicts.
State of Wisconsin versus Kyle Rittenhouse. As to the first count of the information, Joseph Rosenbaum. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the second count of the information, Richard McGinnis. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the third count of the information, unknown male. We, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fourth count of the information, Anthony Huber, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty. As to the fifth count of the information, Gage Grosskreutz, we, the jury, find the defendant, Kyle H. Rittenhouse, not guilty.
Members of the jury, are these your unanimous verdicts? Is there anyone who does not agree with the verdicts as read? Would you wish the jury polled?
Let me help you understand something, because I know many will moralize on this and say this is exactly what the protesters deserved because Kyle Rittenhouse was defending himself. Let me be very clear. Kyle Rittenhouse, in my book, is a killer. But he committed cold-blooded murder.
Cold-blooded, meditated, stone cold killer.
By a court
of law. A lot of people are going to say this guy is a stone cold killer, and he got away with it because the verdict saw, I think the testimony.
So let me be very clear.
I think another reason why that Kyle Rittenhouse got found not guilty, because he put up an epic award, Emmy performance on the stand, crying his eyes out, saying he was feared for a life. They were coming after him, and he's talking about one dude was coming out here with a skateboard. So I think the jury probably bought his LARPed up bullshit story. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the problem with the fucking pussification of America. You get people buy the most bullshit LARPed up stories, and people convince you with the emotions and sympathy of fucking crocodile tears. Kyle Rittenhouse did exact that. Let's continue.
Because we want to highlight the unequal application of the law. You mean to tell me that if a black man travels to another state in order to insert himself into a contentious situation, a protest, if you would, let's say a Trump rally or a pro-Trump protest, black man goes there in order to protect property he has not been asked to protect.
Yeah, or it kind of brings you back. You remember the Capitol riots back to January 6th, ladies and gentlemen? We all remember that. Remember Trump was talking about, oh, you're all very special people, but it's time for you to go home. He instigated the riots. He instigated the, the so-called Stop the Steal, Let's Make America Great. It ended up to the death of a 16-year-old veteran of the name of Ashley Babbitt. And the guy who defended himself, people were calling for his head. People were saying he should be found guilty. He should face murder for killing Ashley Babbitt. The guy was a hero. Ashley Babbitt dove to the glass and tried to get to the other side, trying to breach it like that. And that officer that shot and she ultimately faced her demise, her succumb to injury. She didn't die right away. She bled out and died. She was a hardcore Trump supporter.
Nobody called for him. Nobody was checking for him. Nobody gave him authority. He's not a security guard. He's not an off-duty police officer. He just goes there with a gun. He gets a gun illegally. The person that gave him the gun illegally gets charged with 2 felonies. He has an illegal weapon, or he is unlawful.
And keep in mind as well as this, Kyle Rittenhouse is on freaking 17. You know, some people say, well, he's all like that. No, you have to be the age of 18 or to possess and own a firearm. Kyle Rittenhouse is only 17. He's a freaking minor.
Be carrying a gun in a state that he should not even be in.
Yeah.
And he takes this gun, and 15 days before he commits murder, he says he's going or would like to kill a person coming out of a store. He said that it's on video. That was not allowed in this trial. The jury members did not get to see that piece of information.
No, because, you know, the judge, and that's another thing about the judge. That judge was such a fucking blowhard. He really was. He wouldn't let certain, evidence and, submission get into the court, into the testimony of the trial, including that one. And I remember hearing something like that. Kyle Rittenhouse was talking about he got a gun. He would love to go out and shoot as many people as he can and, watch him fall down and die. You think that's a person that should be found and go around and walk in the streets of society? Fuck no.
It does go to state of mind. So all of this can happen, and then you can be the person with the gun. You think a black person with a gun that's not supposed to be in possession of the gun can go and kill people at a protest in another state, be the aggressor, folks try to disarm him, and he claims self-defense after he kills 2 and tries to kill a 3rd. Do you really think that happens for a black man and he's found not guilty in a court? Do you really think so? This is a miscarriage of justice, in my opinion.
It's a blind eye.
Kyle Rittenhouse is a
the justice system turned a blind eye, in my opinion, on this trial.
And this, as I said many times on this show before, this does not surprise me. If you've been watching Indisputable, I have said right here on this program, I believe Kyle Rittenhouse will be found not guilty. Not because I think he's not guilty, but because I know the criminal justice system.
Yeah. And I heard a lot of people say, yeah, he'll probably be found not guilty. And I 100% agree with a lot of people who are saying that. Not because of the fact or I think because when he cried to stand, I think because the justice system is going to turn a blind eye and they're going to look at this kid and say, oh, there's not enough evidence. And some people are going to look at it and say, oh, this guy's a hero.
He's involved with. The prosecutor had a hell of a job.
Yeah.
He had 2 defense attorneys to go against. One sitting next to Kyle Rittenhouse and the other one sitting in front of Kyle Rittenhouse in a black robe. Kyle Rittenhouse got every break imaginable.
That's exactly it. He had a good defense attorney, and that prosecutor did his best like that. But there were certain situations that the prosecutor would try to put in like that. And what did it? And another one that Dr. Rashad was talking about, the guy in the black robe, the judge. Wake up, people. Yeah, the judge threw away and didn't allow certain testimonies and evidence to get into the trial. So the judge, I think the judge was on the Rittenhouse side as well.
Inside of a courtroom. The judge even sung a song to him in front of the jury. Made every ruling in his favor when the judge had discretion to do so.
Yep.
Dropped the charge that was clearly against the law for him to be 17 with a dangerous weapon in Wisconsin. The judge threw that one out. That's the one probably was not even debatable by the jury. Big Waz, what are your thoughts here?
Man, it's tough. I'm watching a show on Hulu. It's called Dope Sick. It's about the opium epidemic.
I've heard that.
And, very early on in the show,
some people say it's pretty good.
They basically explained to you that the FDA had put a special label on Oxycontin, which allowed the Purdue Pharma to sell it and say, unlike every single opioid that has ever existed, Oxycontin is safe. The FDA did that. That's a government institution. And then, I watch people be vaccine hesitant as people be like, well, the FDA said it's okay. Well, the integrity is lost in the FDA. And so how are people supposed to believe? And so I think about here in the justice system, how are people supposed to believe in this thing? It feels like there's no integrity. You know, you can't blame people then when they go out and feel like, I'm not going to get a fair shake from the law, especially if you're black, especially if you're Latin, especially if you're from, you know, marginalized groups. I think about how the trust gets eroded over time and the consequences of that. It's tough. This is why people don't believe.
Yeah.
My name is Dr. Helen Shia. I am a pediatrician.
Yeah. Anyways, but I got something for you to show you, Al. Here we go. As I said, here we go. Rittenhouse clear all charges. Charge: first-degree intentional homicide. Carries mandatory sentence of 5 life in prison up to 5 years for use of dangerous weapon. Not guilty. Attempted first-degree intentional homicide. Maximum 60 years up to 5 years for use of a dangerous weapon. Not guilty. First-degree reckless homicide. Maximum 60 years up to 5 years for use of a dangerous weapon. Not guilty. First-degree reckless and endangering safety. Maximum 12 and a half years up to 5 years for use of a dangerous weapon. Not guilty. First-degree recklessly endangering safety. Maximum 12 and a half and up to 5 years for use of a dangerous weapon. Not guilty. There you see it. It's all in the cake and the pudding, baby. Let that sink in for later, as well, ladies and gentlemen. The system is not fit. It's fucking broken. It really is. Anyways, I'm out here. My job. Peace out. Much love and respect.